The future leaders of the world will come from the graduates of today. I think as a business school we have a major role in shaping, informing and mentoring those future leaders. And those principles of responsible management education permeate everything that we do. The purpose of the university, its vision and its values is based on educating, advancing knowledge and serving the common good. Embedded within those values is a real sense of responsibility for educating the future generation.
From the very start, the framing of all the courses and programmes at Winchester were set around the prime principles, and that's included now in the research agenda and in the partnerships with business and other organisations as well, in terms of what we're trying to achieve.
And this university, because of its reputation around ethics, responsible leadership, I think was ideal for me. The reason I wanted to do a doctorate is to kind of find a way or research a way of how financial services, which I am part of, can make a positive change to society.
One of the things I find incredibly important about Prime is it's a community of people who feel this. It's connected to fundamental values that I hold dear about social justice and human rights and trust in the world, and making, in simplistic terms, the world a better place.
The way the campus presents itself is really important to the students as well, and sort of says a lot about, I think, how serious we take our sort of environmental commitments. I'm guessing Tom Brennan got a travel and transport guide.
Probably the single biggest impact we can have is by educating our students and kind of changing them and making them kind of globally responsible citizens.
We try to communicate to our students that everything we do, every single action that we take actually really matters.
The university itself is reflected by the people that works here. The professors kind of embody the values of the university. I think that's important.
And I think we all have a common purpose in doing socially impactful work, and the university talks about serving the common good, and I think that's really an underpinning value for us and an organising narrative that's very important for us in our work. The number one sustainable development goal is the elimination of poverty in all its forms everywhere, and the number two development goal is the elimination of hunger. So I'm involved in projects that actually speak to both of those areas. So that's why the PRIME framework, sustainable development goals, and the type of research and teaching that we do at Winchester is actually very unique.
So roughly 6, 7. Okay. Could you just, in fact, just keep your hands up?
I think the most interesting thing about the collaboration with the Winchester Business School is the opportunity that it gives to us to be able to talk to a generation that maybe have never heard about Patagonia before, and the type of business that we are and the ethics and values and where they came from. I think that's the key thing, and the opportunity to be able to talk about the business in its essence, and to be able to talk about where the ethics and the values came from in the first place. And then the second thing is actually to be able to understand from them how Patagonia fits within their curriculum and within their projects and within their thoughts and conversations based on what it is that they're learning as part of their degree. And then the third thing is the challenge that we have on microplastics and how they're getting into our ecosystems and how they're getting into our environment, and actually using their lateral thinking, creativity to be able to come up with slightly different ideas that maybe we wouldn't be able to think of, in order to help come up with some creative solutions about how we might be able to challenge some of those issues and solve some of those issues ultimately.
I think I've always kind of, in principle, been a believer in responsible leadership and sustainability. I think now I tend to understand what that means in terms of how does that reflect in terms of how I relate with my colleagues at work, or how does that reflect in the output of my work. But I do feel it. But, I think the impact on community, on society, I think is more rewarding for me.
Academics can very much get into their silos. So there's also a focus on interdisciplinarity, working cross-faculty. I think to engage in research that really makes a social impact or to be transformative in some way, you have to engage stakeholders. Academics are not the only one with knowledge. Many people have lots of expertise out there, so we have to really reach out beyond the academy and enter into that dialogue. We also have to do research that helps them solve problems rather than academics speaking to academics.